Morning, guys. Just going to give it a couple of minutes in case anyone wants to join. Let's find my page. Hope you're all well this morning. It's going to be a lovely day. I would get my classes done nice and early before it gets too hot if I was you. We have got aerobics at 4, but hopefully by then you'll be very hydrated and feel like you're ready to go. Try and get a fan in the room if you've got one. Just get someone to stand there with a towel and just swish you with it. Lovely. Right, so Pilates. Hopefully you can hear the music okay. Turn it up a little bit actually. We've got a special guest in the room with us today. Yeah. So I don't know how well this is going to go, but we've got workmen in and he just keeps getting under their feet. So the best thing I can do is have him in with me, and then he won't hopefully get in the way. He's got a bed behind the camera, but he doesn't want to lay on that. He just wants to lay in the middle of the floor. And no doubt when I come down to the floor, he'll probably be right beside me then as well. So we'll see how we get on. Never work with children and animals, they say, don't they? Well, yeah. Talking of which, we have got our children's class tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, which I'm teaching again this week. Oh, he's given up now, look, he's gone to sleep. Hopefully he'll just stay there now. Up a bit so you don't have to look at his head while I'm trying to work out. I can't move the camera. There we go, that's better. So we'll make a start. Remember to work where you feel comfortable, to rest whenever you need to. Please do take a drink whenever you need one, okay? It is warm, like I say, so just make sure you keep yourself hydrated. Also, if you've got knee problems, back problems, I will give adaptions as we go. If you do suffer with back injuries and things like that, this is going to help to improve those, but do it gradually. It's not going to work overnight, okay? So you just need to make sure that you're not pushing yourself too far too soon, all right? So, standing nice and upright, toes and knees point forwards, shoulders are down and relaxed. Make sure that you are balanced and central, so you're going to gently rock from side to side, forwards and backwards, making sure you've got an even distribution of body weight across both of your feet. You don't feel lopsided, you don't feel like you're leaning. So in this standing position, you're going to find your neutral spine. So you're just tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. We're finding the position where the back feels the most comfortable, that natural lordotic curve. So with your back in neutral, and I will remind you all the way through, we then need to find and engage our core muscles. So the pelvic floor, that's the muscle from within, the one you would use to stop mid-flow. Imagine that that muscle is attached to a lift, 10 floors, and I want you to draw it up from within all the way up to floor number 10, down to floor 5, down to floor 3, and leave it there. Then imagine you've got a belt around your middle, 10 notches on your belt. Pull the belt into notch number 10 so it goes as tight as it can, out to notch number 5, out to notch number 3, and then we leave it there. So we've found and engaged our core muscles and our neutral spine so far. Now one other element that you do need to work with is your breathing, okay? So a lot of people find the breathing quite complicated, but I will explain it as we go. So place your hands on the ribs, fingertips touch. You get people who think that the breathing is going to be like similar as if you were in a gym, but a lot of the time the breathing is opposite to how you do it. For example, with a press up, we would breathe in as we lower and out as we lift, which is different to what you might do in the gym. Okay, so hands are on the rib cage, fingertips touch. Just starting my watch, sorry. Take a deep breath in. This is called lateral thoracic breathing. Breath in and release. Good. So you're opening up from the rib cage. Hands come down by your sides. Standing nice and upright, begin to pedal through your feet, one side to the other, raising up an alternating heel. Just allow those shoulders to rotate in one direction and the other direction. Placing the feet down, lift all the way up onto your toes and release. All the way up onto the toes and release. Good, one more here. Good. We're just going to step our feet out and we're going to ease across from one side to the other, softening through the knee, keeping the hips pointing forwards, and we're just bringing one arm forwards and round to mobilize around the shoulder, changing the arm here. Good, make sure that the knee doesn't go over the toe. Holding it in the center this time, arms come out, breathe in. Breathe out, lower down, look to the fingers. Breathe in, come to the center. Breathe out, lower down to the side. Breathe in, come to the center. Breathe out, lower down to the side. Good, so you're coming into the center and then changing sides. So you've got that nice long stretch, lateral flexion. From here, walk the feet in hips distance apart. Just allow those hips to gently rotate one way and the other. Good. Holding it in the middle, bring the arms up. Take a breath in. Breathe out, rotate round. Breathe in, return to the center. Breathe out, rotate round. Breathe in, return to the center. So your hips stay nice and still. You're breathing out to rotate and in to return. Last one here. Into the center, release the arms down. So you're going to stand towards the back of your mat. You're going to breathe in, tuck the chin to the chest. Breathe out and gently begin to roll down through your back. Soften off those knees, allow the arms to hang and relax. And then when you are ready, begin to carefully roll back up, rebuilding the spine vertebrae by vertebrae, relaxing the shoulders at the top. I'm trying not to look at my dog because as soon as I look at him, I know he's going to want to cuddle. Breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, gently roll down through the back. Soften your knees, allow the arms to hang and relax like wet spaghetti. Then when you're ready, carefully roll all the way up, rebuild the spine. At the top, relax the shoulders. So we're going to roll down and we're going to be coming down to our first exercise. So breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, gently begin to roll down. And then at your lowest point, you're going to walk those hands and knees down. Back is nice and flat, nice and neutral, so don't dip or arch that spine. Wrists, elbows underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, push one leg back. As you breathe in, draw that leg back in. So you're allowing your leg to push out along the floor behind you and then draw back in. You are creating resistance between your foot and the floor. Keeping everything else in place, you can go further by fully extending, then raising. Lowering that leg back down at its furthest point, and then bringing that leg back in. So if you want to go further, you're going to slide the opposite arm out along the floor. Not lift it, just slide it out. Leg is still come up, toes touch down, and then the hand and the knee slide back under. Breathe out to lengthen, lift with the leg, breathe in to lower, and then return everything in. So your last option then, fully extend the arm and the leg, lift them together, they place down at the furthest points, and then they draw back in. Hips stay central, back stays flat and still. So this is called swimming. It's strengthening for your core and for your lumbar spine. Remember, if you don't want to lift that leg, you can stay at that level 1, just extend and pull. Push it away and then draw it back in. Good. So the core muscles are zipped up, pulled in and in place. Breathe out to lengthen, with or without that lift. Breathe into lower and return. Keep the core muscles, the tummy muscles drawn up and in. Well done. So I'm going to ask you, in your swimming, for one more on each side, please. Try and keep your head and neck in line with the spine. Once you've completed those, you're carefully going to bring yourself down onto your forearms and elbows. Knees down at level 1. Knees come up at level 2. We hold and breathe. If you want to go to level 3, then you're going to place those hands down and come all the way up instead. Hold and breathe. Strengthen through the core and the lumbar spine. Or keep with those knees down at level 1, up at level 2. Continue to hold. You're pulling up through the belly button, so you've got the tightening around the centre of the body through the core. Deep, full breaths. Good. And in your leg pull, I'm going to ask you please for 2 more breaths. Once you've completed those 2, you're gently going to lower all the way down, fully extending the arms and the legs. From here, hello, you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, one arm and the opposite leg raise, and then breathe into lower. Breathe out, other side raise, breathe into lower. Now you've got to have your arms and legs as straight as possible, and if you can, you're keeping that forehead down. Breathing out to lift, into release. Breathing out to lift, into release. I've just got a wet nose. Good. Breathing out to lift and into return. It's like a child. What happens is he gets what he wants, which was a kiss, and then he's all right. Oh, then he decides he wants another one just because he can hear me talking. Breathing out as you lift, in as you lower. This is Dash's doing downward dog. Breathe out to raise, breathe in to release. So I'm going to ask you, this is also swimming but in your prone position on your front, okay? Still working through the core. Imagine you've got an ice cube underneath your belly button. You want to keep it drawn up, you don't want it to touch the floor. So when you've done one more with each side, I'm going to ask you to slide your arms back, lower down because I can't see, so get your head down. And then you're going to come up, back into leg pull. Level 1, knees down. Level 2, knees up. Level 3, coming all the way up onto those hands. And at level 4, you could add a single leg raise. Breathing out as you lift, in as you lower. What I don't want you to do is have that bottom up in the air. It's got to be a nice flat back. At your level, continue with full deep breaths in from the rib cage. Deep breath in and release, just holding the position. If you begin to shake or wobble, it's a sign of muscle fatigue, so just take a rest and then join back in when you're ready. So I'm going to ask you please, in your leg pull, at your level, for 3 more, up to 3 more breaths. Once you've completed those 3, you're going to gently lower down and you're going to transfer over onto one side. So your head is going to rest down on your arm. Should be fully extended, but I've not quite got enough space. and your legs are fully extended with your toes being pulled away. Hips, knees, ankles, all stacked, one on top of the other. So we're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to raise those legs. As soon as you raised your legs, your obliques, your waist, began to work. This hand is here for your balance, okay? Don't be afraid to use it, because without it, you could end up rolling your hips, and then you lose your technique, okay? So holding it here, you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to raise the top leg. You're going to breathe in and raise the bottom leg. Breathe out, lower the bottom leg. Breathe in, lower the top leg. So you're going up, up, down, down. But only back down to your first height, where you first raised to. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, you can take it away. And then your next option, you can take it all the way over into what I call the torpedo position. Point those toes away from your body. Up, up, down, down. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So every movement comes with your breathing. And your movement should be slow and controlled. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower, breathe in to lower. Up, up, down, down. Core muscles zipped up. And I'm going to ask you, please, for one more. Up, up, down, down is one repetition. You're doing one. Then you're going to keep those legs lifted, held, and still. Engaging the core. Making sure the body is central and still. So, we're going to focus, excuse me, on just moving your bottom leg only. Breathe in. As you breathe out, kick your bottom leg forwards. Breathe in and return. So you may have noticed I've already taken my hand back down for balance. You've got to try and keep your top leg absolutely still and just allow that bottom leg to kick. Breathe out, it comes forward slowly with your breathing. Breathe in to return. Top leg remains nice and still. If it's too difficult, you can do the top leg instead of the bottom leg, okay? Hand is there for balance. We take it away to make it harder. We take it all the way over to make it harder still. And I'm just going to ask you, please, for 2 more repetitions of side kick, bottom leg only. Once you've done those 2, you can gently allow those legs to lower. Give those hips a little rub if you need to. And then when you're ready, you're going to push yourself to sit upright facing forwards. You're going to relax the shoulders. You're going to draw the core muscles in, lengthen your back. Okay, so from here, arms crossed is easier, arms lengthened is harder. You're going to breathe in and tilt the pelvis under. You're going to breathe out and rotate to one side. Breathe in, come back to tilt. Breathe out, come all the way up. And within all of that, you're not moving those legs, you're not lifting your feet. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to rotate. Breathe in, come back to tilt, breathe out, come up. So you've got your oblique roll up. Clue in the name as to which muscle group you're working. You're actually mobilizing through your lower spine because you are tilting first. So you've got that mobility in the lumbar spine. You've got the strength from the core, otherwise you would just drop all the way to the floor. And then you've got the strength from the obliques to add that rotation. Now you're only going as far as comfortable for you, okay? I'm going to ask you please, in your oblique roll up, for 1 more to each side please. Remember, breathe with every move. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out, rotate, breathe in to tilt, breathe out, lift. Once you've done those, you're going to bring your hands back, fingers point towards the bottom, your legs are bent, and you're going to lift up into a reverse leg pull. So you've got this tabletop position, okay? Core muscles are zipped up. Try and make sure your bottom isn't right down. So you're pulling the bottom up as high as you can. Now, if this is impossible, maybe you've got a shoulder injury or carpal tunnel, then you're just going to push back and hold from here, okay? If you want to go further, you're lengthening your legs, you're coming into that diagonal position, chin is off the chest. Predominant muscle group here is your triceps, the backs of your arms, as well as the core and the lumbar spine. Deep, full breaths from your rib cage. Reverse leg pull. I'm going to ask you for 2 more breaths, then you can gently lower and just allow those shoulders to rotate one way and then the other. From here, when you're ready, I'd like you to make your way all the way down onto your back. Extend your legs out. Arms are down by your sides. You're going to breathe in. Thank you. As you breathe out, lift one leg about 6 inches from the floor. I want you to point the toes away. Breathe in, point the toes in. Breathe out, point the toes away. So all you're doing is allowing the foot to flex, pulling the toes towards the body, pushing the toes away. You've got one leg raised about 10 inches from the floor. If you want to work harder, then you can have both legs raised. Be careful, because your tummy muscles could dome, they could round upwards, which we don't want to happen. The same as we don't want an uncomfortable back. So we don't want to push our spine right into the floor. Still need to have neutral spine. Breathe out to lengthen, breathe in to return. If you've got both legs raised, carry on. If you're with me, just take that leg down, breathe in, breathe out, lift the other leg. Breathe in, pull the toes in, breathe out, take the toes out. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in. You've still got that neutral spine. You should be able to touch those fingertips together under the small of the back. Breathe out to point, breathe in to return. And all we're doing is we're lengthening and releasing right through those abdominal muscles. Both legs up if you're working at that harder level. And I'm going to ask you, please, for 2 more here. Once you've completed those 2, 1 foot at a time, all the way back down. You're going to bend your legs and place the feet flat down on the floor. Shoulders are down and relaxed. Core muscles are in and engaged. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bring one leg up into a right angled position. Knee above the hip, ankle in line with the knee, shoulders down and relaxed. This is your 100. Strength from your core and your lumbar spine. To go further, you can lengthen the legs 45 degrees. To go further, bring up the head, the neck, shoulders, palms down, breathe in. As you breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This other knee has stayed nice and still. Don't let it wobble around. You could have the upper body up and still keep the leg bent at the same time. So that's another option. Option 1, leg on its own, bent. Option 2, leg on its own, lengthened. Option 3, with the pulse, bent or straight. Option 4, other leg comes up but stays in that right angled position. Deep, full breaths from the rib cage, pushing down, pulsing through the hands. So I'm going to ask you please for 2 more breaths. If you've got one leg lifted and bent, that foot goes down. Upper body returns down. Bring that leg back to bent. Now, keeping it bent in a right angle. Don't allow the heel to drop. Don't allow the angle to increase. Shin faces the ceiling. We're going to make 2 moves here. Breathe in. Breathe out to touch the foot down. That is your scissor. And then keeping the leg bent, you're going to breathe out. Take it out to the side. And breathe in and bring it in. That's your little hip opener. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to raise. Breathe out to open. Breathe in to return. A couple of things here to be aware of. Number 1, you're not adjusting your knee. Okay? Sit down. Number 2, you're not allowing your other knee to move. It stays absolutely still. You're only allowing that leg to move as far as comfortable without having to compromise your technique. Neutral spine in place. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in. And I'm going to ask you for 1 more of each movement, please. Then once you've completed those 2, you can allow that foot to lower. If you need a drink, please do take one, yeah? When you're ready, breathe in, breathe out, bring the other leg up, right angle. Knee above the hip, ankle in line with the knee. Head down. You can obviously see someone in the kitchen, can't you? Dash. So keeping that leg bent, breathe in, breathe out, touch the foot down. Breathe in, lift it up. Oh, got to do the 100 first. Sorry, my apologies. Distracted by the dog. Holding that leg in place. If you want to go further, lengthening the leg 45 degrees, point the toes away. Core muscles have remained in place. Neutral spine has remained in place. So basically, if I was to place a spirit level across your hips, bubble of air would be central and still. If you want to go further, upper body up, chin off the chest, breathe in, breathe out, push the hands down. Breathe in, you hold, breathe out, you push down. Remember, you can do that with the leg bent if you prefer, or lengthened. Final option, other leg comes up but remains at right angle. And those legs are still, remember. Core muscles are zipped up, pulled in and in place. And now I can't take my head to the floor. Good. Deep, full breaths. It's quite a good cushion, I have to admit. Good. You don't have to have, which leg? That other leg raised. You can just keep with that one leg. You can have it bent or straight. You can have with or without the pulse. And I'm going to ask you, please, for 3 more breaths. Once you've completed those 3, if you've got both legs lifted, return the foot. If your leg is lengthened, bring it back in. Ow! And then bring the upper body back down. Keeping this leg bent and in place. Breathe in, breathe out. Touch the foot down. Breathe in, bring it back up. Breathe out, move it out to the side. Breathe in, bring it back in. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out, take it out. Breathe in to return. So the exhale takes the leg away from you, while the inhale is bringing the leg back into you. Okay? Shoulders are down, relaxed. While this leg is moving, this other leg is completely still. Imagine you've got a glass of water resting on that knee. You don't want to wobble. Remember, the movement is coming from the top of the leg through the hip. We are not adjusting the angle in that knee. Breathe out as the leg moves away. In as it returns. Breathe out as it opens. In as it returns. And I'm going to ask you, please, 2 more of each move, working where you feel comfortable with your own range of movement, using your breathing. Once you've done those 2, you can allow that foot to carefully lower, and then please feel free to give yourself a nice long body stretch if you would like to. Then when you are ready, we're transferring onto our other side. We're lengthening the body out. I can get my arms straight this time. You're resting your head down on the arm. Hips, knees, ankles are stacked one on top of the other. And this hand is there for your balance. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, raise both legs without rolling forwards or backwards. You've maintained this nice long body. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift the top leg. Breathe in, lift the bottom leg. Breathe out, lower the bottom leg. Breathe in, lower the top leg. Now these legs are moving slowly with control. Point the toes away from the body. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to lower. We've got work happening down the side of this top leg and through the inner thigh on this bottom leg, as well as the obliques, because they're helping to control the movement and lift the leg. The core, the lumbar spine. That's why we have to be really careful to maintain this nice long working posture. You can take your arm all the way over, that's your final option. Keep going, I just need to have a sip of water. Deep, full breath, smooth, controlled moves. I'm going to ask you, up, up, down, down is 1 repetition, and I would like just 1 more. Then you're going to keep those legs lifted, held, and still. That hand is there for balance. Your bottom leg, breathe in. As you breathe out, kick it forwards, and then breathe in to return. Breathe out, kick it forwards, breathe in to return. So you're allowing that leg to move forwards, keeping the top leg nice and still. If it's too much, do the top leg instead of the bottom leg. Only 1 leg moves. Hand comes away if you're able to balance. Hand goes over. So I'm actually stronger on this side. On the other side, I had to have my hand there all the time. That tells me that I need to work on the strength down my left hand side. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in. Don't allow those hips to roll. Chest is open. Core muscles are in place. And I'm going to ask you please for 2 more kicks, 2 repetitions, then legs come together and we gently release. Well done. From there, I'm going to ask you just to continue to bring yourself round into a box position. Knees under the hips, so back into the position where we started, yeah? Head and neck in line with the spine. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to push yourself back to a crouched position. So we're going to be making our way to stand from here. If you need to help yourself up, you can move nearer something that you can use for support. Tuck the chin into the chest. Place the feet down. And then gradually, slowly, in your own time, begin the process of rolling up through your back. Rebuild your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to the top. And relax those shoulders down. So we've come all the way back up into this nice standing position. My dog seems to finally settled by the door. Good. Toes and knees forward, shoulders down and relaxed. Try and make sure that you stay balanced throughout the day, not too much leaning around, okay? Long, tall posture, neutral spine, core muscles, keep them in place for as much of the day as you can remember. You're going to test your balance, lift up onto your toes and release. And again, lift up onto the toes and balance. Core strength and posture help to improve your balance, okay? So really focus on what's going on. Now if you can, you're going to release one leg and then close your eyes. Good practice for this, she says. Practice brushing your teeth while standing on one leg. That foot goes down, other leg comes up, balance. Close your eyes if you can, even if it's just for a couple of seconds. So I'm very wobbly on this side, and then place that foot back down. Well done, guys. So that's your Pilates for today. The levels are there, so please feel free to try different levels, all right? But be honest with yourself. If you're not balancing right, if you lose the breathing technique, just go back down a level and then join back to that higher level when you feel ready. So well done for this morning. Hopefully my dog didn't put you off too much, bless him. He's chasing the build. Every time the builder goes that way, so you can see the shadow, and then he's waiting at the other door, then he sees him out the front window, so it's quite funny. But if I let him out there, he's in the way, bless him, so I've had to have him in here today. So anyway, that's a little bit of entertainment for you. Dogs are optional, of course, and no animals were harmed during the filming of this Pilates session, okay? So well done. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, guys. We are back 4 o'clock with aerobics. I've got Kids Fit for you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I might start planning something for that now. And then I'm back Monday morning, straight in 10 o'clock with your HIIT. Okay, guys? Well done. Enjoy the sunshine. Don't forget to stay hydrated and put that sun cream on. Take care. See you again soon.